I've been working on this little chicken coop for a week now, off and on, small projects here and there. I wanted to make some modifications to the modifications that we had done a couple of years ago when we first picked this up off of Facebook Marketplace. So this is the coop that the three little chickens that we saved from our laying flock, that we saved back from our laying flock. These are, this is their home. Henny has been living in here for the better part of a year. And before that, we had our two lavender Orpingtons in it who met their fate with a raccoon one night. And so made a couple of modifications to it for the trio because it's great for two birds. It's okay for two birds. It's great for one bird. Three birds needed some modifications. And additionally, they're gonna need to be out on pasture doing some free ranging. I think that'll really help these birds live their best life. What I really should have done was give you a before and an after tour, but you're just getting the after tour because I didn't really think about it. When we bought this chicken coop, it came with this metal insert along the bottom of the nest box area, the sleeping area, and it's been fine. It collects the droppings, and then there is a tray that pulls out and you're supposed to be able to dump it. I don't love it, but it works. What we thought might work better than the metal tray is hardware cloth. So this is the tray itself. I've taken it out of the sleeping area. It just pulls out. I used the metal piece to exact measure the hardware cloth, and then I disassembled this and took out all the little screws and the back plate here, and I put the hardware cloth in and then completely reassembled it. So now it is just a fall through tray. And it slides just in. Oops, stuck on something. There we go. Slides in. Additionally, in the sleeping area, originally this coop, as the manufacturer made it, had two 1x1, we're gonna call them roosting bars, but I would never use them as such, that hooked into these little slats on either side. We never liked that idea, so we took them out, and Eric had tried 2x4s across the top here. Not very many of the birds figured that out. What I'm going to try is this scrap of wood, right just a couple of inches above the tray. Hopefully they'll figure out that they can keep their feet off of the tray, and then their droppings can go right down through the hardware cloth. Over here we have the nesting box area. The original manufacturer had partitions that just a little slip of wood, like a curtain that slid in here, and then there's an attachment point on the back wall here, and so it made a nest box here, a nest box here, and a nest box here. We took all that out. I thought that our chickens would probably just use this sleeping, nesting, all in one. So we're gonna see how they like the different nesting area versus sleeping area. Original modifications to the original design was more structural support across the middle and the front of the coop so that when it was moving, it wasn't quite so wobbly. We also reinforced the base of it as well for the same reasons, structural support all the way around. This coop originally came with what I felt was a really steep ramp that attached here and went very much over 45 degrees downward. We took that out. We built them a plank off the plank wall. Originally we had our food and water. We built another little panel and they hung off of that. I've decided to try hanging the food and water just here by the door. Easier to get to for me to refill it. And lately, I've been using just a bucket for feed. I pick it up and I take it out and I put a scoop in and I put it back. So I haven't hung an additional feeder for a feeder hook for a feeder. I think I'm just gonna keep using the bucket because it works. The last things we've done to modify the original structure was we added a handle for picking it up and moving it. So when we're ready to move the birds that are in here into a new place, we simply lift. I can't do it one-handed. We lift it up. It's got wheels on the back, which we also put on. That's not original design. And we just drag it a few feet to its next sitting location. One thing I have modified more recently is I made it so that the exterior door on the front could be opened again. When we made our original modifications, hello Bumblebee. When we made our original modifications, the handle here that we lift up on to move it occluded this door from opening. It can open all the way. This was the original location here for the hook. With this handle, it makes that impossible. So I've re-added a latch just to give the girls an easy in and out access to their foraging. And because I mentioned it, here are the wheels that we've added on. These have worked really well. They've held up over a few seasons. We've got the structural support along the bottom here. And I don't know what kind of tires these are. I'll have to ask Eric, but ooh, that could use a little air. But they've done really well. Here it is with all of its doors closed up. Everything is latched. One thing I do like about the original design is that these windows can come up and down and can either be nicely vented across there or closed off in colder weather. Give you a roundabout tour here. Here we are. One of the things I think I'm going to end up doing next is replacing this. I can see in some areas where it's starting to buckle, fold, and just generally come away. Whoops, that's a dog's foot I'm sitting on. So I'd like to replace the roofing at some point. And there you have it. I'd say that chicken coop is ready to receive chickens any day. This is the part where I tell you to like and subscribe.